We are in Trafalgar Square in front of the Trafalgar Lion. Hear it roar. Okay, I'm going to be talking to David Drew. Now, he has won numerous awards for his salons and his business expertise. He is a business coach, and he will take you through and show us exactly what makes a great salon business. Stay right there. Hello, you're watching Scissorboy.com. Pleasure to be with you, as always. My name's Adriana, and I am joined by the very lovely, we've had a nice little chat we have, David Drew. Hello.
Hi, Adriana. How you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm very, very good. All the better for meeting you on a cold, winter, snowy day in England.
Now, David, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to recently.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm a hairdresser. I'm very proud to be a hairdresser, and have been for, I'm ashamed to say, 35 years.
Listen, doesn't show at all.
Oh, bless you. Now, you've just gone right up in my estimation. I thought I was going to have to prize that one out of you. I had my own businesses, and management was always something I think I was destined to do. I was first made a manager at 19, tender age of 19, and boy, did I know nothing about management.
You must have been impressive, though, to be given that role at such a young age.
I think I was just brash.
Oh, see, a man after my own heart.
It was a learning curve, a real steep learning curve. And I was managing people of my age now. So when I look back on that, I actually look back very whimsically and cringily, actually, because I think, oh my God, I didn't really act like that. I didn't really say that, did I?
Yeah.
But obviously I learned some stuff out of it. And the first thing that I learned is that people respond to recognition, first and foremost. And people respond to leadership.
Yeah.
They need to be led. We'll all follow a leader.
Yeah.
And I think in our history and in our nation's histories, whether it be wherever you're from, if you've got strong leadership, you can pull through anything.
Definitely.
So when I opened my own businesses, I very much wanted a team, and together everyone achieves more. That's my analogy of a team. And so I encompass everybody to, this is your business, it's not my business. I'm the custodian of the business, and I was very successful. And I had my salons for 24 years, and I had a really good lifestyle. And I was under no illusion of what I was in business for, which was to be the best, but also earn a good profit.
Right.
And there are a lot of salons out there who are just turning over money.
Yeah,
What comes in goes out.
survive.
What comes in goes out. And they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And they're just treading water. And they're on what I call a Ferris wheel. Sometimes they're at the top of the Ferris wheel and life seems quite good. And then other times they're at the bottom of the Ferris wheel going, hey, wow, what have I done to deserve this? And it's tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But their passion, their enthusiasm, is the same as the top 10% and 2%. They love hair, they love dealing with people. So I kind of thought there's a need here to help these people understand that they're not running a hair salon, they're running a business. And the rules of engagement in business are very similar, and it doesn't matter what you're selling, whether you're selling Mars bars or Coca-Cola, or in our instance, our passing trade is hair. You've got to have a plan, you've got to have a strategy.
Yeah.
And I sort of talk to people like that, and they all say to me, oh, I've got a plan, I've got a strategy. But actually what they've got is just dreams.
Right. Yeah, that's their goal rather than how they're going to get there, the process. So what would be your
Well, if they had a
advice
goal,
for
Andrea, I'd be really happy for them, because I say to them, what are your goals? And they say, oh,
really?
well,
They don't even have that?
I want to be
Right.
this, I want to be that.
Okay.
They've got a wish list,
They're not focused on
but they haven't defined it and focused it. For me, a goal is something that when you put a timeline on it, you say, I'm going to do that by then. So when you go and book your holiday and you pay that deposit, you know you're going to go on holiday at that time if you save the money and pay the bill.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, guess what happens? You start focusing on it, you start putting that bit of money aside, and guess what? You pay that monthly installment, you pay your holiday off, and you go on holiday. That's the goal.
Makes sense. Right.
When you go and book it, it becomes a goal. Until you've booked it and paid that deposit, it's not a goal, it's a dream.
So essentially, they have to use the same format for what they want to do.
Absolutely right. I think there are some industry drawbacks that we all suffer from within the industry that we all get wound up and caught up in.
Right.
but their problems are all very individual and very unique, because we're all individual and unique. That's what makes us special. But yes, there are some similarities.
Okay.
Businesses experience the same issues.
Which tend to be?
And I'm going to call them issues and challenges, because I want to get a word from the word, I want to specifically not use that word problem.
Yeah.
Okay, when people tell me they've got a problem, I say, no, you've got a challenge.
Yeah.
Because actually, guess what? We've all got problems. And if I want to focus on my problems and keep thinking about them and describing them to myself in detail, I'm going to feel pretty down very quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I say to people, no, we've got challenge. Because if you didn't have any problems, guess what? You'd be in a coffin. That's when your problem's in.
Very true, very true. We don't want to be there.
No, so problems are a sign of life. So I actually say, no, they're good. And you asked me a very good question, Andrea. You said, are there some specific things that a lot of salons suffer from the same type of problems? They usually spend too much on payroll.
Right.
Payroll is one of the biggest expenses, if not the biggest expense salon businesses have.
Right.
We need to get it at the right level within the turnover of that business. They usually spend too much on stock.
Right.
We need to get the stock levels and the price they're paying for their stock at the right percentages in relation to the turnover of their business. Okay? They usually spend a little bit too much money willy-nilly
Right.
on things like an advert here and there that they've been phoned up about and they think it's a good idea to advertise their business. Well, if you haven't got a proper campaign, you haven't got a
it's waste of
proper,
time.
the odd advert here and there, totally waste of time. Okay? So there's all these little things that they either spend too much on or don't know what they're spending on. If I say to people, what's your break-even point? What's that?
So I can imagine a lot of them don't really have a clue of their accounts and what they need to earn, and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. They
coming in,
have
coming out.
accountants, but they don't seem to talk with their accountants
Right.
until the point when their accountant rings them and says, hey, this is what you owe the authorities, the tax, and this is what you've got to find. And then it's usually a big shock. Oh my God.
Panic.
Well, I can't owe that money. I haven't seen that money. But of course, they have earned the money. It's gone through their business.
Yeah.
And they've spent it.
Yeah.
Because they haven't planned for the event of the fact that, unfortunately, there's two things we can guarantee in life.
I know what you're going to say.
We're going to end up in a coffin and we're going to pay tax.
Yeah,
okay?
we are.
And so we better plan for
Hopefully
both.
not both of you in the coffin.
I hope so. So at the moment we are in times of austerity. We are in times of great worry for a lot of people, and it's an interesting situation, because if you talk to a lot of my peers in the hairdressing industry, they will always say, I've earned more money when the country was in recession than when it's in boom.
Right.
And that's a very interesting spin on this, isn't it? And statistics tell us that the average person on the street, market researchers have found out that they'll cut back on everything before they have to actually give up their hair. Only 1% of people surveyed said, no, I'm going to cut my hair out.
Right.
Everyone said, no, hair's one of the last things. So I call it affordable feel good.
Right.
So we're not in a hair service. If we were just selling haircuts, hair colours, we would have gone out of business years ago. What we're selling is a very invaluable service where beautiful ladies like yourself come in and we make you look good and feel good. So I call it experience. And I actually say to a lot of my clients, do you want your clients to have an encounter with you or an experience?
Every time experience.
And it's experience. It's all about experience.
Oh, it's just it is a lovely experience. It is.
Absolutely right. And we're being bombarded with newspaper and news all the time. And we mustn't feel guilty about spending on ourselves. I actually have a little saying. I say to people, my mantra is never underestimate how important your clients are to themselves. See, I'm very important to me.
Of course.
And when I want something for me, I'll go and buy it.
Yeah.
Okay? And never assume what your clients can and can't afford. That's one of the traits as humans. We like to make assumptions. And when I test some of those assumptions, they're based on what? Feeling, past experience, and what our beliefs are. So in a lot of salons, one of the biggest problems a lot of salon managers and owners are having, and they'll identify with this when I say it, is my staff don't like to charge for a full service when they've provided it.
Right.
And you go and question yourself, why didn't you charge that client for that lovely conditioning treatment she had at the backwash? Why didn't you charge that client for a whole head of colour? Why do you only charge her for a half head of colour? You restyled that client's hair. Why did you only charge her a trim? Oh, they can't afford it. Oh, I knew she wouldn't pay that. Hey, hold on a minute. How did you know that?
Yeah.
Did she tell you that? No. Did she come here expecting to have her hair done for free? No. Did she book the appointment? Yes. Did you give her a proper consultation and explain and agree what you were doing to her hair before you did it? Yes. Did she sit there and allow you to do it? Yes. I think she was expecting to pay. Oh yeah, but. And it's but, it's a big one, you see? And it's based on their beliefs and their past experiences or what somebody may or may not have told them in the past. And they're holding on to those beliefs and making assumptions that actually are not relevant, not conclusive.
Yeah.
And that's what holds our businesses back. So the average service bills in a lot of the salons is too low.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately a spiral because that puts pressure on the business. And then one day when the salon employee says to the owner or the manager of that salon, I want to go on a training course. I want to do a photo shoot. We should do a hair show. We need to redecorate. We need to buy a new whatever's broken. The owner or the manager of that business is going, gee whiz, I'd really like to do all those things. But you know what? We just don't quite have the money to do it. And that's because they're not charging the right service bills. So we need to get our average service bills right. And we need to have a plan and we need to have our staff on board. And our staff are what I call our internal customers. And the internal customers of the business are the people working within that business. They need to believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And why you're doing what you're doing and the products you're using. Because I quite often say, and this will be another one, that every salon owner or manager who's watching this will say, yeah, my team do that. They don't talk about what I call the home hair care regime. I hate the word retailing. I don't believe in selling to clients, and I'm not advocating it. In fact, when I go and do my business seminars, when I write my articles, I say, the first thing I say to people is, don't sell to your customers. I don't like being sold to. I'm sure you don't like being sold to, Adriana. But I'm quite happy to listen to good advice.
Yes.
I'm quite
I like
happy
to make up my own mind.
Yeah. I'm quite happy to have someone make a recommendation if I believe they're looking after my best interests and they're identifying things about me that I know are true. Like, you know, my hair's very dry, very grey, very porous, and I know when someone identifies that, I go, yeah, you're right, my hair is that. You've got a product that, yeah, I've got a fantastic product. I'm quite happy to listen about that. Why does it work so well? What makes it so good? That's not selling, that's giving benefits. Then let the customer make up their mind. But if it's done in the right way, 9 times out of 10 clients will say, I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
But it's about belief.
Yes, no, 100%, 100%. Now to recap, it's all been brilliant. Recapping what you said just finally as we finish up, unfortunately, because I could sit here and talk to you for hours. For businesses, most important factors to be successful.
Know what you want. Know why you want it. Know when you're going to do it. Why you're going to do it. There's 4 things. And that's life, actually, not just business.
Definitely.
Okay? Yeah. And then have a plan and enlist the right professional help. If you don't know how to do a business plan, which is a cash flow forecast, profit and loss projection, if you don't know what your break-even figure is, and every salon owner and manager watching this program now should be able to say to themselves, I know what my break-even figure is. And when I say break-even figure, I'm not just talking about a year, I'm talking about a year, a quarter, a month, a week, a day, even to the minute. What do we need to do to cover our X's? And that's your responsibility. If you're the owner or the manager running that business, you cannot give away that responsibility. You've got to be self-responsible. You then set the appropriate levels and targets and pricing for your service to make sure that whatever we do, we're making a profit. And profit shouldn't be a dirty word.
David, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It really has. Thank you.
My pleasure indeed. Thank you, Adriana.
Scissorboy.com. You know where it's at. My name's Adriana. I'll see you very soon. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Of course he is. Snip,
Snip,
snip.
snip.